All right, let's talk about taking full control of your very own personal AI assistant. We're going to dive into OpenClaw and show you how to configure it from the ground up to be exactly what you want it to be. Let's get right into it. So just imagine an AI that's not just some random tool, but it's actually part of your team. One that has its own personality, it lives right there on your devices, and it just works seamlessly across Slack, WhatsApp, Discord, wherever you do your work. It remembers what you talked about yesterday and just keeps learning. That's the whole idea behind a self-hosted assistant like OpenClaw.
Okay, that all sounds amazing, right? But an AI this powerful needs a serious control panel. So how do you actually go from that basic out-of-the-box install to a finely tuned AI that works exactly the way you need it to? Well, that's the big question we're answering today.
Let's kick things off with the absolute easiest way to get up and running. You really don't need to be a config file wizard from day one. OpenClaw has this fantastic, super streamlined interactive setup process that's going to guide you through everything.
It doesn't matter if you're using Docker or if you installed it directly with NPM, the very first command you should know is OpenClaw onboard. Seriously, just think of it as your personal setup guide. It'll ask you a bunch of questions and build out your first configuration for you automatically.
So this onboarding wizard, it walks you through these 6 really crucial steps. It starts with security, which is super important. Then it helps you connect your favorite AI model, link up your chat apps, and then, this is key, decide who's actually allowed to talk to your bot. It even helps you tack on some extra skills before it fires the whole thing up for you. It's incredibly straightforward.
And as you can see right here, the wizard doesn't just throw you into the deep end. The very first thing it does is show you a clear security warning. It makes sure you understand the best practices before you even start configuring anything. It's all about starting off on the right foot.
So the wizard gets you started, which is awesome. But where does all that information actually go? Let's pull back the curtain and look at the core of OpenClaw's configuration, what we're calling the central control panel. Everything, and I really do mean everything, is controlled by this one single file, openclaw.json. Now, it's a JSON5 file, which is just a more human-friendly version of JSON. It means you can do things like add comments to remind yourself what a setting does. You should really think of this file as the brain of your AI. Every single setting, from the model it uses to the channels it connects to, it all lives right here. Okay, here's a really key thing to understand. OpenClaw demands precision. Your configuration file has to be, well, perfect. It's strictly validated against something called a schema, which basically means no typos, no extra fields you just made up, no mistakes are allowed. And yeah, that means a single misplaced comma or a typo in a setting name will actually cause the whole assistant to refuse to start. But this strictness, it's a feature, not a bug. It's what ensures your AI behaves predictably, and it prevents all sorts of weird bugs or even security issues that could pop up from a messy config.
But hey, don't worry, you're not left guessing in the dark. OpenClaw comes with its own built-in diagnostic tool. If your assistant ever refuses to start, you just run OpenClaw Doctor. It'll scan your config file, tell you exactly what's wrong, and it can even offer to fix the issues for you automatically. It's a total lifesaver.
Okay, so now we understand where the brain is, and more importantly, how to keep it healthy. Let's get to the really fun part, making your first customizations. What are the settings you're probably going to want to change right away?
Well, people edit their config for all kinds of reasons. You might want to connect a new chat app, lock down who can talk to your bot, or maybe set up some powerful automations with cron jobs and webhooks. You can truly fine-tune every single aspect of your assistant's behavior right from this file.
But look, out of all those options, the very first thing you should probably configure is access control. You need to decide who gets to send messages to your AI assistant, and this is all handled by one simple setting called DM policy. This table breaks it down perfectly. The default setting is pairing, which is a great balance of security and convenience. Basically, new users have to get approved with a one-time code. If you want even more control, you can use Allow List, which only lets in people you've specifically pre-approved. And of course, you've got Open for public bots or Disabled if you want to shut off DMs entirely. The next most common tweak you'll probably want to make is choosing your AI model. Inside the agents.defaults.models section of your config, you can define which model you want to use, say Claude Opus or GPT-4. And you can even set up fallback models in case your first choice is ever down. All right, once you've got the basics down, OpenClaw has some really incredible advanced features that let you become a true power user. So let's take a look at a few of these power-ups. Okay, this is one of my absolute favorite features. You can edit your OpenClaw.json file while the assistant is actually running, and for most settings, the changes get applied instantly. No restarts, no downtime. This is called hot reloading, and it makes tweaking your AI incredibly fast and just seamless. And you can even control how it reloads. The default hybrid mode is really smart. It applies safe changes on the fly and only restarts when it's absolutely necessary. But you can also set it to hot for full manual control, or even restart if you're the kind of person who just prefers a fresh start with every single change.
And there's just so much more. You can enable sandboxing to run tools in a secure, isolated container. You can schedule tasks with cron jobs for things like, say, a daily news summary. You can trigger actions from other apps with webhooks. You can even run multiple totally separate AI agents from a single gateway. That way your DevOps bot and your creative writing bot don't get their wires crossed. And .include is great for keeping huge configs nice and tidy.
So we've gone all the way from the simple onboarding wizard to the really deep, advanced configurations. With this control panel now in your hands, let's just think for a second about what you could actually build with this.
I mean, the possibilities are huge. You could build a unified inbox that brings all your different chats into one place, a smart DevOps helper for your team, or even a persistent knowledge base that actually gets smarter with every conversation. The mix of channels, tools, and automation is just incredibly powerful.
And this quote right here, it just captures the magic perfectly. Because OpenClaw manages everything centrally. You can literally start a conversation on Slack and then pick it up right where you left off on Telegram. The context is never lost, and that creates a truly unified, seamless experience. So now you know how to wield the control panel. From the simple quick start all the way to fine-grained power-ups. All the tools are right there at your disposal. So the only question left is, what kind of assistant are you going to create? Thanks for joining me.